Peggy sat in her car in the parking lot of Axiom Communications, the place where she had worked now for 13 and a half years. But today, for some reason, it seemed different. She didn't remember driving to work this morning. Was she in a rut? Is this what had become of her life? As she saw the morning sun reflecting off the blue-tinted windows of Axiom, she also reflected on her own life. 13 and a half years ago, she and Ted were so excited. They were expecting their first child. A few years later, they had their second child. And a couple of years after that, their third. Ted was doing quite well at the car dealership. In fact, nowadays, he owned that car dealership. He was making fabulous money. And you know, that was good, because you need fabulous money if you're going to send 3 kids to college. She was so excited. She wanted that job so badly. She didn't dare tell Ron, the man who was interviewing her and who was now her supervisor, that she was pregnant. She didn't want to take any chances on jeopardizing her chances at that job. Just then, she got a text from Sylvie. Sylvie was her friend in the accounting department. They had become fast friends a couple of years ago at Rob Weitzel's retirement party. And they had become strong allies in the company ever since, which was good. Because the past few years, there had been some layoffs at the company. And as a result, there seemed to be a lot of office politics, so you needed good allies. Sylvie wrote, "Girl, I see you sitting in the parking lot. You better get up here. Ron is in a bad mood. He wants to see you about the Bixby account." Ah, yes, the Bixby account. It was Axiom Communications' biggest account, and it was Peggy's favorite account. Matt Bixby, the owner of Bixby International, had taken Peggy under his wing when she first joined the company. He could see she was a little nervous, and he showed her what was expected. She really appreciated that. It was Matt Bixby who introduced Peggy to Toastmasters. This was a few years ago. She didn't really want to get involved with Toastmasters. She had enough on her plate. But she figured, well, if Matt is promoting it, it must be good. So she joined. At first she thought, man, these Toastmasters, they're all hopped up on motivation and positivity. They must be drinking something in that Kool-Aid. Especially that guy, Jay. He was like Mr. Motivation. But you know, the speech he gave last week was very inspirational. And it was really getting to Peggy. He gave a speech on turning your if-onlys into what-ifs. If only I were younger. What if it doesn't matter that I'm not younger than what I am? If only I had more education. What if I don't need that extra education? If only my kids weren't so rebellious. What if the kids are just going through a phase and they're going to turn out all right? It was a very inspiring speech. If only it were that simple. Peg caught herself. Wait a minute. Maybe it is that simple. Oh, well, I can't think about that now. I've got to get up and see Ron about the Bixby account. She brushed past the secretary at the front desk on her way to the elevator. They just smiled and nodded at each other because Brittany, the receptionist, was on the phone. Must be nice. Young, perky Brittany. She doesn't have any responsibilities. Life is easy for her. What does she do every day? She just goes home to her small apartment and feeds her little cat, Mr. Whiskers. Must be nice. Peggy went up the elevator to her office. As she was in the elevator, she got a text. Oh, Brenda. Wild, crazy Brenda. Her best friend. Do you know they had been best friends since high school? I mean, who does that? High school. Peggy had always tried to get good grades, make her parents proud, stay the course. Brenda was always leading her astray, sneaking out at night to see the boys, going to those wild parties. And Brenda was still trying to lead her astray. It was Brenda who introduced Peggy to Dennis Headley, or Deadly Headley as he was known. She thought, I wonder whatever happened to Deadly Headley. He's probably some high-powered lawyer by now. Oh well, ancient history. Text read, Zumba tomorrow night? Oh, Zumba. She wanted her to get involved in a Zumba class at the gym. Okay, send. Peg walked into her office, sat down to get the reports ready for Ron. Text. Oh, Mom, can we get a kitten? Oh, no. Now the kids want a kitten? Oh my God, a cat. First of all, it's going to have shots. They're going to have to train it to use the kitty litter. It's going to be scratching up all the furniture. Oh, no, cat. Then Peg remembered when she was a little girl. Her brother Billy brought home this little kitten. It was so cute. Of course, her mother freaked out. Oh, a cat! It's going to tear up the furniture. It's going to cause all kinds of problems. Mark my words, that cat is going to be a jinx. Sure enough, they fell in love with the cat. It climbed the drapes like they were trees. It got into the catnip. Ah, Jinxie. As she got into the elevator to go see Ron, she thought, what's a good name for a cat? It could be another Jinxie. Jinxie. Yes, it could be another Jinxie. Mr. Toastmaster.